Hello everyone and welcome. So for those of you guys who have been following this channel for a while, you're probably aware that a few months ago now I gave a keynote speech for Boys and Girls Club Moncton, and it was a speech about my playing career and the lessons that I learned, and it was in front of a few hundred people, I think 400 or 500 people, and that's not something that I'm used to doing. It was actually the first time I've done public speaking since elementary school, and back then I was absolutely terrified of getting up in front of my peers and classmates and giving a speech like most kids. But since then, I don't know what it is exactly, but I've just become more comfortable doing that. I no longer am afraid of public speaking. I think a lot of it is to do actually with this channel and flicking the camera on and just speaking like I am now. Probably seems very natural to you watching, but it wasn't always like this. And lately I've been helping business owners find their voice and help them communicate with their audience in an authentic way. The obstacle here is that it takes time. It takes time to develop your voice and find yourself and to show up authentically. Okay, it takes time, but it also takes conscious effort. It takes reps. Okay, so I think 10 years plus of making YouTube videos, it really was the practice ground for that big moment on stage a few months ago. Okay, but not only was it that, I signed up for a public speaking club. It's called Toastmasters International. There's clubs all over the world. And through Toastmasters, I had another opportunity, which is the reason for this video. A member at Toastmasters, our president, he invited me to speak at a workshop that he was giving on communication. And this was in St. John, and I woke up that day and had no idea that I was going to give a speech later on to a small group of people, but it was another opportunity to give a speech and to talk and to just practice my communication skills. So this is the raw, unedited version. You guys are going to see it, how it played out in person. And at the end, I'll give my, my takeaways and commentary, I guess you could say. I'll give my commentary after the speech, okay? So here we are. This is my speech from a couple weeks ago, I think, okay? Let's go. Hello, everyone, and thank you for having me. Jim invited me, as he mentioned, to talk about courage, and I didn't anticipate such a heavy discussion on mental health, which is it's a big topic. It's a one that we all understand intimately. And I think courage ties in to this quite well, actually, because courage is really at the root of all of our actions. Even you ladies coming here and participating in a program like this, it takes courage. It takes courage to come and better yourself. It takes courage to admit you need help. It takes courage to reach out to somebody, right, and say, I'm not doing well. Courage really is at the forefront of all of our actions. So I'm going to tell you guys a story about courage that I channeled or stepped into. I used to be a professional hockey player. I played 12 seasons, 6 of which were in North America for the New York Rangers organization and the Detroit Red Wings organization. Okay, I was playing for their farm teams in the American Hockey League. Then I played 6 years overseas. Okay, so I don't know if it was an opportunity or something I should be grateful for, but I've had many chances to summon courage within myself. And I say I'm a little bit reluctant to say, should I be grateful or were these opportunities? Because usually when we're talking about courage, we're talking about facing fear, okay? These things, they work together. They're closely related and they're really two sides of the same coin, right? Courage, fear, and also fear and survival, right? When we're talking about courage, we're usually talking about protecting ourselves, survival. And this happens sort of in two ways. We could be summoning courage to protect our physical survival or our metaphysical survival. Okay, what do I mean by that? Standing up to a bully, right? It takes a lot of courage to step up to a bully. I don't know if you guys have ever done it for yourself or for a friend, takes a lot of courage because worst case scenario, that bully could cause harm to you, physical harm, right? That's protecting our physical survival. But there's also the metaphysical survival, right? It takes a lot of courage to go against the grain. Maybe you have an opinion that people don't agree with, but you do. It's your truth and you want to voice it. But now you risk being banished from the tribe, right? Your metaphysical survival is threatened, your identity, right? So courage is really this thing that's so intimately entwined with survival and fear. So I have a story for you guys that I had to tap into both sides of that, right? My physical survival was threatened, but also my metaphysical, my identity was threatened. So let's go back in time. I'm in the height of my pro hockey career, okay? And I've just been traded from the New York Rangers organization to the Detroit Red Wings organization, okay? Yes, thank you. Thank you. And I was assigned to the Grand Rapids Griffins, okay? So I get off the plane and I turn up at the arena. I got my bag on my shoulder and now I'm meeting a new group of young men, okay? And I have to introduce myself and it's, this is the first little bit of courage. Hey, how's it going? Making web to web, is that what you guys say? Web to web, did I get that right? Okay. The game starts, and when you're joining a new team, you want to make sure that you're making an impact, like right away, okay? You wanna sort of solidify yourself, like, hey, they made a good choice bringing me here. I can, pull the rope in the same direction as you guys. I'm worthy of your respect. I deserve to be here, right? This game, unfortunately for me, is not going so well. And now the inner chatter starts. Come on, Jordan, you gotta do something here. You gotta find a way to bring value to this team. What are you gonna do? Right? These things are going on in my head. Do we have any hockey fans in the room? Do you guys like the Leafs? They're in the playoffs right now, right?
You're welcome.
Okay, so do you guys know he's an infamous Leaf, okay? Ryan Reeves. If you know the name Ryan, if you don't know the name Ryan Reeves, he's what they call the enforcer, the goon on the ice, okay? He's a big guy. His job is to protect his teammates, maybe do a little bit of intimidating of the opposition, okay? Rough him up a little bit at times. That's his role. It's how he brings value. But as the story goes, he's not with the Leafs yet. He's actually on the team that I'm playing in Grand Rapids, okay? This is earlier on in his career. So I face off against this guy, like this, and I ask him, hey, you wanna go? You wanna go? In hockey, that's code for you want to drop the gloves and scrap. See, my mindset here was, okay, he's the biggest, toughest guy on the ice. If I can give him a good go, it'll show my teammates that I'm in business. I'm here to play. This is my way of bringing value, right? You guys see me. I'm not the biggest guy in the world. This took a lot of courage for me. Ryan Reeves at the time, I think he had 40 pounds on me, 3 or 4 inches. When he dropped his gloves, took off his helmet, put his hands up like this and looked at me, my heart was racing. I was looking at him like, what did you just get yourself into, Jordan? This guy's hands were this big, we're at center ice, circling each other. And I'll spare you the details, but I survived. I'm here to tell the story. I gave him a good go. I didn't win the fight. I think the average sports fan would give the edge to him. But we both escaped with no real notable damage. My teammates were pretty impressed that I did this, and I was impressed with myself that I had the courage to do this, something that I don't think anyone really wants to face. So the end of the game happens, okay? We lose the game. We're in the locker room. It's quiet. It's quiet. See, in pro sports, there's a lot on the line, right? It's win or you could be gone. So you can only hear our skates, the bags ruffling, okay? In comes our coach. Our coach, he's a former NHL heavyweight. His name's Kurt Frazier, and this guy, he commands respect when he steps in a room. He's got an old weathered face, deep creases. He looks like an old school military general, okay? Quite intimidating, especially for someone like me who's new on the team. And he's walking, stepping over the bags, and he's coming right at me. And I'm like, oh God. He reaches out his hand. Great job. I just thought to myself, wow. Courage. I'm grateful I had the courage to do that. Okay, so there were other times where I had to step into courage, okay? I'm still figuring it out, guys. I don't know. Courage is hard to summon, but we have it. There's something that's going on in our hearts and in our minds that tell us this is the time I need to be courageous. I need to channel courage, okay? As I said, I'm still figuring it out, but there's one thing that I do know. It's that any time that I've chosen courage, it's a decision. Anytime that I've chosen courage, it's a decision that I've never regretted. So I encourage you guys, choose courage. Thank you. Okay, so there you have it. I think it went pretty good. I'm happy with it. It's funny because when you're giving the speech and it ends and you go sit down, you're like, you don't really know. Honestly, it feels like it went worse than it actually was. When I watched it back, like you guys just watched it, like, okay, that was pretty good. There was a few things that I would improve or I would do different next time, and that is sort of tying in how I started. I started out by saying my metaphysical survival was threatened as well as my physical survival. Okay, so like metaphysical, I mean like my emotional, the way I identify myself, these sort of things were under attack. Okay, and as well as my physical, but that's obvious, right? Getting in a fight with somebody. I didn't really clarify those things in the story. I wish at the end I would have said my metaphysical survival was my place on the team, or how I brought value, or how I'm going to stick around. Like that was the main reason for the engagement, right? And then again, it's very obvious my physical survival was threatened as well, but that all worked out. Another thing too, and this is again back to, working with my clients today. You turn on the camera, you make mistakes. You make mistakes when you talk to your friends or, your parents or whoever, family members, your partner. Sometimes words come out funny, you don't pronounce things correctly. A lot of people, when they turn on the camera, they think that they need to be this highly articulate person who never makes mistakes. And I try to encourage people, and I hope I'm giving you guys some maybe inspiration or courage or confidence to make mistakes. Who cares? We say things wrong sometimes, and you just go with it. No one's going to remember. No one is going to remember that you said a word wrong or you stumbled over your words. Take a deep breath, pause, say it right, or just keep going. Who really cares? They know what you're saying, okay? So don't lose sleep over that. And I'm saying this because at the end you could see and it sucked the timing of it, because it was like right at the most important part of the speech. I couldn't get it out. I fumbled my words, but I decided to pause, back up, and when you acknowledge these things with a smile on your face, I think people really, they just resonate with it. They can just see you're trying, and making light of a funny situation is definitely the path that I choose to take all the time. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Who cares? I'm sure that people, when they think back on that speech, the small group, they're not thinking about me fumbling over my words in the last sentence. They're thinking about how that speech made them feel. Okay? So what do you guys think? Did you resonate with that talk, with that speech? And I open the floor to you. Where do you think I could have improved that speech? If you're interested in developing public speaking skills, if you're interested to come hang out with me at a public speaking club, this is if you're in St. John, you can find me on Instagram or my website, IamJordanOwens.com. Okay, reach out, come out as a guest. You'll see what Toastmasters is all about. I've been really enjoying it, and public speaking, maybe you're not developing these skills to give a keynote speech or a TED Talk. Maybe you're just leading a group at work. Maybe you just want to be a better communicator and more articulate, and you want to get your ideas across with more clarity. Toastmasters can help with all of that. So come on out. It's fun. If you made it to this point in the video, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.